key in, it'll get your ticket. I want to get the ticket for the root user. And then in AFS, to send that ticket onto the AFS server and kind of manually join the network, you have to take this AK log command, which is to log into the Kerberos ticket. If I do the tokens command, tokens is an AFS command, and it's going to show what my current user ID is. In this case, I'm the admin user, so I can pretty much do whatever I want. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a volume. So I created a new volume, and at this point now I can let's see, I can do so I can just create more volumes and mount them into my directory space. If I have this volume mounted, so essentially now what I've done is I've said every user in the organization, so any user, even if you haven't authenticated, you now have access to this food volume. Not a smart thing to do, we'll get rid of it in a minute. But we can mount multiple things in there. And by doing this, we can then allow you guys to create groups for your projects and help get research started. And we'll be happy to do that. Just put a thing into RT and we can make that happen. But I don't do it now. All right. If you aren't sure, for some reason AFS isn't working or your files aren't there, before you put a thing into RT, if you're logged on and you still can't access your file, there's one Kerberos command that would be really handy to check on, and that's this klist command. Klist will show you the status of your tickets. If you don't have a valid Kerberos ticket, nothing's going to work. You might be still logged on, but you might not have access to your home directory. What this is showing is it's showing what you're logged in as. So logged in right now is root admin. And what I want to see here is I have a valid AFS ticket. I got that when I did the AK log. If I didn't AK log, I won't have an AFS ticket. If I don't have an AFS ticket, AFS isn't going to talk to me. And what we see here is that the ticket expires at midnight, about, but I can renew it until tomorrow without having to log in again. Once this time frame has expired, I have to log out and log back in again. So if you're really working late one night, you can just renew your ticket with the AK log command. And then it'll kind of roll it forward again. So klist, just make sure you have a ticket. If you do need to get a new one, just K in it. Put your password in again. Or not. AK log, and if I do a klist again, everything will fit. That's just the security mechanism that allows you to access everything and make sure that no one else in the world, unless they have your password, no one else in the world will make it for Kerberos tickets. So it's pretty safe stuff. If you go to the AFS directory tree, you get an idea of how many organizations are out there. And there are a lot of them. So you can just CD into any of these. There's nothing illegal or wrong about it. These are all publicly advertised AFS domains. So for example, we could go to what's something in NASA. Go to the Jet Propulsion Lab at NASA. So I can just CD into that directory. I don't have access to everything, but I bet I have access to some things. And so it really just depends on what their systems administrators have set up. I can use that fsla command, and I can find out what I have access to. And it says here, for instance, the system any user can CD into the tool directory. So if I CD into the tool directory, XT system, any user can CD into any of those. So for instance, you can go to source and go to ETS. And apparently they have a bunch of source out there that I can start going through and seeing maybe there's something useful or interesting out there that they decided to share. Looking at these names, a lot of these look like they're open source tools already, but there may be some cool things in there. Of course, our domain is AFS shippy to you. And when I look at that, right now our Mira server is down, fixing it. So we'll come back to that. We have a directory for courses, so depending on your faculty number, I've started putting some stuff on the AFS page for some of my courses. They're out there. We have a volume for the programming team. Right now, this is really just used for the team accounts. When we have a competition, we create the team accounts there. So there's nothing wrong with the programming team putting up their problem sets and stuff out there and having them online. We have a research directory, so you can go to the research directory. If you're working on any kind of project, whatever services or kind of projects are going on, we have those folders out there. This is a data set that I got from Notre Dame that we can have access to. It's a whole bunch of eyeballs, and you can use it for doing like iris recognition when mess around with that. But you can't get that database publicly. It's only for them to use. I'll be putting some more stuff out here as I get time. The share directory has a bunch of different software, and you are welcome to have at any of it. It's all stuff that we can hand out. For instance, we have all the Oracle software. So if you're trying to do the database class and you've got to use Oracle, you don't have to use Clipper. You can just download the instant client for your operating system and use it. We also have virtual machines that you can download from home. We have an Ubuntu machine that is for the embedded people. We have a Windows machine that is what's in the lab right now. So if you want any of the Windows software, it has the Visual Basic Trash. It has the Interactive C and other things that are in there. You can just download the image of the Windows thing. I thought we had a lab machine in this too.
That is for you to, actually that needs to be updated. That student, you read that turbo?
Oh, top one, okay. So we actually do have a tar compressed image of the inside of the lab machine. So all of our lab software is in it. So you can download this guy, it's all compressed, you can uncompress it. Then you have access to our lab machine at home. And then do the same thing for the Windows side. Thank you, I could, for some reason my brain was skipping that. The service directory is usually just a bunch of stuff that we end up throwing out there. Some of it's useful, some of it probably needs to get picked over and make sure we're not lazily putting private stuff in the public side of service. Because there is a private side that I don't think people have access to. No. So you guys don't have access to the private directory, but you have access to the top level directory. And there's all kinds of nice stuff in there. If you're just looking around, pick through it. There might be some stuff in there you can use to hack into our systems and violate everything. Knock yourself out. Good luck. I guess I shouldn't challenge you. And we also have the shared, I went over share. And then the apps directory. So the apps directory, we're starting to install stuff into it. As we're getting more mature with having AFS and getting more time to populate these things, we're starting to kind of roll this stuff out. Apps allows us to install software into the AFS space, and then any AFS machine with the right user ID can run the code right from the AFS network server. You can locally install things. If you're at home, you can do the same thing. So the neat thing is, if you CD into the bin directory, AFS will take you to whatever is the appropriate one of these for whatever system you're running on. So if you're on a 64-bit Linux machine, it'll take you into that directory. If you're on a Mac, it'll take you into that appropriate directory. And then you can just run right from here whatever programs have been installed.